Hi everyone, my name is Jan, I'm from Vivid Games, I'm a product manager there. And today I'd like to share some thoughts with you about our experience, about the experience we had from the transition of our flag title, which is called Real Boxing, and how we switch it from paid to free-to-play. So first of all, I'd like to start with some, quick self-advertisements about the company, then I'll go to the hero of our and subject of our presentations today, which is Real Boxing. And after that, I'd like to share with you something what I call transition matrix. It's a tool that I prepared, and I think in a quite thorough way, it describes what is very important when you do this challenge. So, few words about Vivid Game. We are a 100 employee studio. We are a Polish mobile game developer and publisher at the same time. Currently, we're focused on 2 titles. One of them is called Real Boxing, and this is subject of today's presentation. And the second one, it's called Godfire, and it's an action-adventure game. So we've been quite successful for last 2 years. Before that, we were mainly focused on smaller titles, but since 2 years, we're greatly focused on two big IPs, and that's our strategy. We're listed as well on New Connect stock market. That's a small stock market in Poland, something similar to what Nasdaq is. And we as well gathered, a couple of awards. As you can see, one of them is, for example, Best App for the Godfire for China of the App Store. Okay, so hero of today's presentation, it's a Real Boxing. That's a boxing simulation. I think so far that's the best boxing simulation on both Apple App Store and as well on Google Play. And it's based and built on the basis on Unreal Engine 3. And from the very beginning, we wanted to create it on Unreal Engine 3 because we wanted to create very stunning, good visuals of the game. That was our USP of this brand. So just 6 months ago, in June 2014, we decided to switch the game to another business model, so from paid to free. And I think we've done it quite successfully. That's the reason why I was asked to stand here today and show it to you. We already, right now we have about 5 million MAU, and we've been downloaded over 15 million times, which I think tells that this transition was quite successful. Okay, so I was talking about the Unreal Engine and the way we constructed the game. Now I'm going to show you the reason why we wanted to have it really unique, visually looking. So the game is live right now on both platforms, on Android and iOS. And as I said, we're very happy with the results of this switch, and that's the reason why I'd like to share it with you today. So before I'll start talking about this transition itself, I would like to spend a few seconds on this slide because this is a very important concept that I came up with just very recently when I was talking on some other conference, the lecture about the free-to-play and paid games. And when I was talking with some other specialists in the game industry, we've come up with this concept that paid games and free-to-play games are very different from each other. And this is quite obvious, but not known to everyone, that these are very different groups. We have to keep in mind when we're planning each aspect of our work, of how the organization works and how we plan the strategy for our product. Obviously, paid and free-to-play has different charts in stores. They have different group of users. different kind of behavior, everything is different. So when we're doing the switch, we have to as well change the way we think about it. So the main distinction for me personally about having a paid and free-to-play title is the distinguish that says us that when we have a paid title, we are more focused on building brand awareness, and we're building a brand. It's a marketing. It's a brand marketing. It's about building an image around it. While free-to-play is having a product, is having a constant stream and frequent stream that is delivered to our users. I would go even beneath that, and I would say that having free-to-play is delivering the service. It's more of a service kind product than building a brand. And when you start thinking about it in this way, it makes sense what I'm going to show you about right now. So this matrix I've created, it will be divided into 3 layers, because when I was trying to remember the moments when we switched the price of real boxing, when we changed the model, and how difficult was it this whole time, I thought of 3 layers that was like kind of happening at that moment and before that in the company. Those 3 layers that we needed really to have thought very well in order to make this transition, make it smoothly. And obviously one of them is organization, so I'm going to talk about how we did reorganize ourselves. And it's worth to mention at that moment that I'm going to cover mostly the aspect of marketing department. That's the department I'm working in, so I'm going to focus on that. So I'm going to tell as well what we've done with the strategy of the game itself. And I'm going to go to very small details as the actions, so actually what we did in terms of tasks, exact tasks. Okay. So organization. I think having a paid title, as I said, it's about building the brand. So it's very important to keep brand marketing competences, creative competences in your department. It's very important to have very good, skillful workers who can create your great marketing assets, who has really great relationship with press, and who are very good at the marketing communication with the end users. It's very important to have those specialists. While we moving away from the paid end of this axis and going into free-to-play world, it's starting to be more and more important to gather data. Because, and it's really crucial. I think this is like the most important aspect of my presentation is to say that when you're paid, all you need to care is to break this barrier, which is a price tag on your game, and incentivize your player to break this barrier and just buy it, and that's it. You're happy about it because you gather the revenue from the sold license. And with free-to-play, and somehow we're obviously giving the game for free. So what we need to do is really understand the behavior of our end users, if they monetize and at what point they monetize. So it's very important to start collecting those competences in your department and, for example, extending your data analytics fragment of your department, etc. Another big change in terms of organization is the way how you conduct the work of the whole department, because when the game is paid, the whole department are greatly focused actually on getting featured. I'm gonna say it in a few seconds about it a little bit more, but they're focused, as I said, on building the brand awareness. While being a free-to-play, it's more about the department that's going aligned with the production. Since being free-to-play, it's very essential to update your game frequently and constantly deliver new content to your users. It's very important as well to have a department which can react very fast and are aligned very much with the production team. Okay, so in terms of strategy, so I think it worked for us, and this was our main case as a real boxing, as a brand. When being paid, I think about 80% of the success is being featured. There's no secret in it. Unless you have a really big IP, big brand awareness, you have some kind of celebrity that is attached, you are dependent on those bigger guys. And this is everything you should focus. Your strategy and paid game should be focused to be featured by the channel you're in. So everything you do in terms of the strategy and the department should align with this single target. So what obviously what's the reason to being featured? How to achieve it? Everybody wants this answer. It's very hard to answer that. I think the best way to put it is to listen to your partners, because if both Apple and Google, they want something from you as well. So if you're trying to shape your product in a way that will please them, like for example, if you will support new devices for Apple, obviously guys from Apple, they just want to sell devices. Apple App Store is a side business for them, so they definitely want to sell devices. While Google Play, they want to be supported in terms of their new software. So if you stick to that, you can be featured. But the strategy of the whole strategy of your game and that moment should be focused on that. Listen to them, understand their needs, please them, and in this way maybe secure yourself a featuring. So that's as well the second point, the second bullet point that is connected to that. That creating marketing assets will let you to diversify, distinguish yourself and show your uniqueness of your game, and show off behind all those other titles. When moving into free-to-play, the main strategy would be actually to constantly improve your game. As I said, when we have a free-to-play game, we have to treat it more as a service than actually a physical product, right? So it's not about, it is as well very important how to get to those users, and we have to secure the minimal user base. But it's very crucial at the same time that we will have to service them for a long time. So we have to deliver them constantly, the new product, and as well we have to tweak those little things. That's why I said that the data it's like the most essential thing, because you can only imagine if we're tweaking our PPU for, I don't know, 10 cents or 20 cents, or if we tweak a little bit conversion for 0.1%, on a volume base like 10 million users, that has like very significant impact on revenues. So, and with a paid game, obviously we don't have those tools, right? So we just sell the game, we hope that it will find its users, and that's it. While having a free-to-play title, it's more about having those users, and then after that monetize them. So we have to know who he is, and as well tweak those little things at those little things. And at the same time, the strategy should be more about getting more frequent the new data to our users. Because when we have a paid title, for real boxing, when we had a paid title, we did the updates like for 2-3 months, something like that. And that like the main milestone in this strategy, because this is the moment when you can deliver the new content, you can ask for featuring from the store, and everything sums up to that exact moment. While having a free-to-play, when you should actually develop a mechanism when you deliver your content via server side, even those small packages that change the balance of the game, change the in-game monetization of the game, so you can do that frequently, more often, and you can check it. Okay. This is one important thing as well. When you're at this exact moment of switching the price from from paid to zero, it is important as well to be prepared for that exact moment in terms of getting the necessary attention. I know for a fact 2 developers who switched the price, and their strategy was like, okay, let's just do it very secretly, let's check what will happen, and they've lost the momentum. Because I think this is when you switch the price, for example, on iOS, this is the moment where you can guarantee yourself the biggest attention and biggest user base. And that's because it's quite relatively easy to find a partner who can create this attention. because there are still companies. I've listed here the free game credits. I'm not sure if they're doing this service anymore. But basically, what they did for real boxing is they spread out the good word about the real boxing that is being dropped to zero through their Vine influencers. It didn't cost that much, and it at the same time created a lot of buzz. And I'm sure there are services like that, and there are offers like that. And as well, this is very important that when you change the price, there are a lot of tracking mechanisms on iOS that are very popular applications between users. And, and when you change the price, they're automatically catch it, and they show it that there is kind of a promotion or whatever, and users install it. So we've gathered, in the exact moment when we switched the prices, we did get, I don't know, 3 or 4 million, something like that, at 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So it's very important that you will align your strategy and keep informed your partners and prepare yourself for that switch. It's not only about checking how that will perform, but it's as well very important even in terms of sales, of revenues. Okay, so coming to the actions, the exact tasks that are done in each phase. So when we were paid, when Real Boxing was paid, our department, our tasks were mainly focused on creating the marketing assets. Very good. The game is looking good, as you can see, so it's something different from what you have on the App Store. And we were trying to show this uniqueness, right? We were trying to sell this USP to both end users and as well to channels. This was our main concern. So contacting the press, it's very important as well. They somehow like paid games. And obviously, as I said, channels and users, right? So at that moment, our main concern is to break this psychological barrier of price tag on your game. When we moved to the free-to-play, this whole fun is beginning to be more complex. As I said, and it's very important, is that when you're on this middle ground, when you're at the exact moment of switch, please remember to keep informed your surrounding, your partners, everyone, because they will help you. I'm pretty sure that every relatively popular paid game that will tell Apple or Google that they will switch the price, they will get featuring from, like, no problem. I'm pretty sure about it. And when you're going, enough? Okay, just a few words. When you're going into free-to-play, what you have to do is as well rethink the ASO. It's very important. These are very new title and a new charts, so you have to think once again about the keywords, name of the application, everything that creates your searchability. Of course, user acquisition, I'm not going to stop here. It's a huge subject, but user acquisition is something that doesn't happen for paid that much. And A/B testing, so that's it, right? Just you have to constantly deliver new content to the game, check it, check the elasticity of price, check the modules, everything, because your game right now is service, it's not product anymore. Thank you. Any questions? Yes?
So have you published the free version as a new game, or did you just made an update?
This was an update.
Okay.
So I'm just going to connect it to one other thought as well. It's very important that you cannot mix the experience of being paid and free to play for the players. If you, for example, have to monetize your game through advertisements while being free, you cannot serve them to your paid users. There's something you kind of have to remember as well.
And how was the user reaction, the premium user reaction after the switch?
So that's exactly what I'm saying. We put a mechanism that was identifying the user if he's paid or not, and paid users were still served the paid content. So they have everything unlocked, et cetera, et cetera. And free-to-play users, so from some date, from some point when user was downloading Real Boxing, he was served only free-to-play version. Although it's very important to keep that in mind, that your users doesn't stick to your game for all the time. So really, you can think in terms of month to month, and your user base that existed, it doesn't exist anymore. So this is like, you don't have to worry about the users that you had like 1 year ago. Probably they do not exist anymore.
And how did the revenue change? Is it twice or
tripled?
Tripled? Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I highly recommend it. There is definitely the biggest money is in free-to-play world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi.
Hi.
Did you find that you were receiving a lot more support requests as your user base grew so quickly in a short amount of time? And did you have to reorganize your team to support that?
We're in the middle of this process, definitely. That's what you're saying is totally right, and it's quite logic, right? If you have a user base that was like, I don't know, 100,000 or 200 SMAU, and then you have it like 5 million, you're definitely getting more attention from your users and a lot of mail for support.
So what kind of steps are you going through now? You're putting a bigger team together, or you are?
Yeah, basically what we do is, before that we had a part of our support in our QA team, and right now I think it's moved away from QA. It will be put into our department in publishing and the marketing department, and it will extend for more person to handle that. It's very important, obviously. And the same counts as for the devices, right? So if you're going free to play, then you definitely attract a lot of more players who plays on low-end devices, which creates a lot of problem as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.